Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list, and here's my top 10 personal favorite Alan Rickman performances. Yes, sadly, actor Alan Rickman just passed away at the age of 69, and it's really sad, and oh my god, I was completely shocked. I'm like, what? That can't be real. Sadly, it is true, it is real, and I thought to pay tribute to Alan Rickman, I give my top 10 personal favorite Alan Rickman performances. Yes, performances, not movies, but tomato, tomato, you know. Alan Rickman is not a leading actor kind of guy. He's more of a supporting guy, more of a character kind of guy. So, just like what I did with my top 10 Christopher Lee performances, I'm doing the same thing with Alan Rickman, okay? It's the characters he's playing in these movies. So yeah, here's my top 10 personal favorite Alan Rickman performances. Alright, coming in number 10 is Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Yes, this is the Kevin Costner Robin Hood movie, and Alan Rickman plays the villain, the Sheriff of Nottingham, and anytime Alan Rickman does a villain, he just does it great. I love Alan Rickman as a villain in any sort of movie. Even if the movie isn't good, Alan Rickman just does a great job playing villains, and he's great. This is a very underrated movie. I actually like this movie, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I love Kevin Costner in it. I love Morgan Freeman. I like Christian Slater. And I love Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman almost steals this movie. He's so freaking good. He can be really comedic in this movie. He also can be very intimidating, and just him squaring off with Kevin Costner in this movie is just awesome, and he can be really badass in this movie. And yeah, this just shows just what a great actor Alan Rickman can be, and what a great villain he can be in movies. So yeah, I love him as the Sheriff of Nottingham and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Great movie, great performance. Coming number 9 is Colonel Brandon from Sense and Sensibility. Yes, this is another very good performance, and he really holds his own in this movie because the 3 lead actors in this movie are all fantastic. Emma Thompson, Kate Winslet, and Hugh Grant. They're all phenomenal in this movie, but Alan Rickman is still very good, very classy, very elegant in this movie, and I liked him. I liked him a lot in this movie. He is probably the most underrated performance in this movie. I know everyone praises Emma Thompson's performance in this movie, and Emma Thompson's writing, Ang Lee's direction, and Kate Winslet's performance, and even Hugh Grant's charming personality. But hey, Alan Rickman can be charming too, and he can be just awesome and interesting. He's the most interesting character. He has the most depths in this movie, and he's just awesome in this movie. It's Alan Rickman. Anytime you put Alan Rickman in a movie, it's just a blast to watch. And Sense and Sensibility is one of the best Ang Lee movies out there, and I love Alan Rickman in it. He's fantastic, and it's a great movie. If you've not seen this movie, check it out. It's fantastic. It's a great period piece kind of movie, and if you love period piece movies, you'll love this, and if you love Alan Rickman, you'll love him in it. Coming number 8 is Harry from Love Actually. Yes, I have mentioned this movie a few times. Yeah, Love Actually has a lot of great British actors, and Alan Rickman is very good in this movie, like everyone. Like Liam Neeson's in it, Colin Firth, Emma Thompson again, Hugh Grant again, Billy Bob Thornton, who else is in this? Liam Neeson, did I just say Liam Neeson? But yeah, there's a lot of great actors, Bill Nighy, and but Alan Rickman in this movie, he's very good, and he plays a very unlikable character in a way, because in this movie he plays a guy who wants to have an affair, because he's married, but he wants to cheat on his wife with some attractive girl in his office. But does he do it? No, he doesn't do it, but he almost does it, and he has the temptation to do it. I'm glad he learns from his mistake in this movie. Like, he's not a complete jackass, even though the whole movie he wants to sleep with someone else. He does learn his lesson, he does have a character arc in the movie, and like I said, he does give a good performance, and yeah, he might have the great humor like Bill Nighy does and Liam Neeson and Colin Firth in the movie, but he's still very good in this movie. Performance-wise, he gives a phenomenal performance, and any scene with him talking with Emma Thompson is very good conversation. They feel like a husband and wife. Yes, the chemistry isn't like a loving chemistry, but it feels like a married kind of chemistry. You can feel like these two are married in the movie, so that's good acting between both of them, and I just enjoy Alan Rickman in this movie, and I love this movie. It's one of my favorite romantic comedies, one of the best Christmas movies also, and Alan Rickman's phenomenal in it. Coming number 7 is Metatron from Dogma. Yes, Alan Rickman was in a Kevin Smith movie. I never thought that would happen, but it was awesome, and it just worked. In this movie, Alan Rickman plays the voice of God. He's an angel who is the voice of God. So anytime someone prays to God and hears the voice, hears someone answering their prayers, it's Alan Rickman. And in this movie, Alan Rickman is very enjoyable in this movie. Yeah, like, just when you thought Alan Rickman couldn't be funny, hey, he can be, but this movie just shows he can be freaking hysterical. He is hilarious in this movie. I wish he did more Kevin Smith movies, because he's so good in this movie. I love him in this movie. The opening scene when he comes into the girl's bedroom and the flames and the wings and everything, it's so funny. And I just love that when he spits all these rules about religion and everything, and it's just so funny. I love his philosophies too. I love some of his own beliefs too, and just anytime he talks and anytime he's on screen in this movie, it's just so awesome. It just gives the movie a more epic feel, just because Alan Rickman is just such a phenomenal British actor, and he's just so good. He's got a great voice, and he's just a great performer, and he just has a lot of great humor. It's a little bit of a dry humor, but that's like my favorite kind of humor, and he's just awesome in this movie. Yeah, Alan Rickman in a Kevin Smith movie, it just freaking works. Coming number 6 is Marvin from A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yes, this was in my top 10 favorite movie robots. I love Alan Rickman as the voice as Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He's like this big fat robot with these weird eyes. He's a very depressed robot. Like, I love that. It's a depressed robot. A robot that almost wants to commit suicide. He's just down on life, and just, when you have a voice of Alan Rickman playing a depressed robot, that's just hysterical. And I love this robot. It's one of my favorite robots in movies. He's hilarious. He's very knowledgeable, and he's very helpful when he needs to be, and he just looks awesome. He's just this big tubble art thing who just talks like this all the time. It's so good. Alan Rickman did a phenomenal job. Like I said, he's a great voice actor, and he's just a huge talent. Love him in this movie. Coming number 5 is John Gissing for The Search for John Gissing. Another great movie, great dramatic movie with some good dark comedy. Alan Rickman is fantastic. Again, this is not his movie, but he sure shows like it is, because he's phenomenal. He almost steals this entire film with his performance. I don't know why he didn't get nominated for his performance in this movie. He's brilliant in this movie. I don't want to spoil this movie, so just go see it. It's a phenomenal, amazingly written film, and Alan Rickman just kills it in this movie. Love him in this movie. Coming number 5 is Sir Alexander Dane / Dr. Lazarus from Galaxy Quest. Yes, Galaxy Quest is a phenomenal sci-fi comedy, one of my all-time favorite sci-fi comedies, and Alan Rickman is just fantastic. The whole movie, he's dressed as an alien. And the story of this movie is about these actors who play on a show called Galaxy Quest. It's almost like a Star Trek kind of show, and then these real aliens come to Earth, and they want their help because they think their show was real life. They think they're historical documents, and they basically get transported onto a real-life spaceship, and yeah, they have to save the world, Galaxy Quest style, and Alan Rickman is just great. He was almost like the lead in the show, but Tim Allen always stole his thunder, and he's just kind of just pissed off about it. He's just an angry British guy in the movie, and he just does a hilarious and awesome job. He looks the part in the movie. He's very knowledgeable, very smart, very clever, and I just love his facial reactions in this movie is just hilarious. Everything, just like when someone says something stupid, his face is just hilarious. When they first go on that ship, in the scene where they all first go on the ship, his face is just so funny, and he is hilarious in this movie. He's almost kind of like a Spock. That's kind of like his character, but yeah, I loved him in this movie. This movie is one of my all-time favorite sci-fi comedies, and Alan Rickman is one of the best parts of it. I love Alan Rickman in this movie. Check this movie out if you've not seen it. Go Galaxy Quest. Coming number 3 is Judge Turpin from Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Yes, a Tim Burton movie, Tim Burton musical, and once again, Alan Rickman plays the bad guy, and I love this movie because it's a villain versus an even worse villain, and Judge Turpin is the even worse villain. Johnny Depp in this movie, he's a villain, but he's fighting an even worse villain. So it's villain versus villain. You don't know who to root for, but they're just both great in this movie. Yes, he is. Judge Turpin is one evil, sadistic bastard in this movie. He is just crazy. And yeah, he wants to marry like an 18-year-old girl. Like, he raised into this girl. It's just really gross, really creepy, but he just plays the role so freaking good. Even the scene in the movie when Alan Rickman has to sing, he sings with Johnny Depp the song Pretty Woman. It's a beautiful song, and Alan Rickman, his voice is not like the best singing voice, but it works for the movie because it shows a lot of character in these characters. It just shows so much depth and shows so much humanity in these characters, and that's why that's like my favorite musical number in the whole movie, when Sweeney Todd and Judge Turpin are singing about the women they love. Also singing about how they're going to do like the most disgusting things. Like, they're about to do just evil shit coming right up. You know, this song is just so pure and beautiful, and it's like the only calm, mellow, beautiful song in the whole movie, and it's a great song, and I love Judge Turpin, the character. He's a great villain, and yeah, I also loved Timothy Spall as his sidekick, the Beetle, but Judge Turpin is just a phenomenal character, and it's one of Alan Rickman's best performances. Again, like I said, he just plays great villains. Coming number 2 is Severus Snape from the Harry Potter franchise. This is my all-time favorite Harry Potter character. I love a lot of these characters. I love Hagrid, Harry, Hermione, Ron, Sirius Black, Voldemort. I love all these characters, but Snape is my favorite. Snape is he's the reason why Harry defeats Voldemort in the end. Yes, he has a lot of help from, like Hermione, Ron, and Neville, but Snape is the person who gives them the knowledge in the ending to defeat Voldemort, and he is the true hero in this movie. And, if you've not seen the Harry Potter movies, what, you've been living under a rock? Everyone's seen them, but if you have not seen them, I don't want to spoil, but he does a lot of shit in this movie that no one would do, but just because he has so much courage and he has so much love for Lily Potter, he'll do whatever it takes to protect her son and save this world from this evil bastard called Lord Voldemort. And I love how he plays against people and he manipulates people, but he does it for the good. And he's just a very smart and yes, kind of stubborn teacher, and he doesn't take crap. He always talks like this, Mr. Potter. He gets very annoyed very easily. You insufferable know-it-all. I love Snape. Snape was always my favorite character. Even when I thought Snape was the villain, I'm like, I still love Snape. Snape is just a great character, and it's one of my all-time favorite Alan Rickman performances. This and my number 1 are the 2 Alan Rickman performances that are the most iconic. These are the performances everyone knows of Alan Rickman. Anytime someone thinks of Alan Rickman, they think of Severus Snape, and they think of my number 1, which is... And my number 1 favorite Alan Rickman performance is Hans Gruber from Die Hard. Yes, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Get me my detonators. I love him. This is the ultimate villain role. This is the role that started Alan Rickman. This is what brought Alan Rickman to us for cinema. I think he did movies before, but this is what introduced us to Alan Rickman that we all know and love, and I just love him in Die Hard. This is the ultimate bad guy in action movies. He is the greatest action movie villain in any action movie. He's one of my all-time favorite villains in general. He's right up there with Khan from Star Trek, Joker from The Dark Knight. He's just amazing. I love him in this movie. Alan Rickman gives, hands down, one of the best performances. I love Bruce Willis in this movie. He's so good. But I love Alan Rickman. I just love him. I love his dialogue with John McClane. I love how they constantly try to outwit each other, and he's just such a very smart villain. And yeah, he's just great. He eats up every scene he's in, and he don't take shit either. If you don't get him his detonators, you don't get him his money, he will shoot you in the face. And yeah, he's a badass villain, one of the greatest action villains in cinema, and he's my all-time favorite villain in action movies, and this is hands down the best Alan Rickman performance, in my opinion. I love Hans Gruber. So yeah, that's my top 10 personal favorite Alan Rickman performances. So yeah, rest in peace, Alan Rickman. You made such great movies. So yeah, in the comments section below, please tell me what is your favorite Alan Rickman performance. Give me your top 10s, comment below, and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.